On there. Okay.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. It's the magic time just before sunset, which is happening now, and everything's very calm. Even with our hyper little dog, Yaya. There's Yaya. That's one hyper little dog. Yaya! Hey! Yaya! Yaya! You're very hyper. Oh, here's Ryder. So really I started out to just show you the calm of the hour of sunset. Actually, there's something about this time of the evening, as I always say, very pouring as I am, and it is the distant sound of a dog barking. And in our case, children at play down at James and Jessica's house in progress. There's Jessica, I guess, cutting wood. So that's the delivery that we had yesterday. They came and unloaded all of those bricks, and we still have to go and get that down. Also, I went today and got an alternative to the 1/8 or quarter ply that they sell here. They sell 1/8 as quarter. So they say it's quarter, and I guess somewhere between inches and meters, they come up with that it's a quarter. But I looked at a special different kind of board, which I think everybody else always remembers the name of them, which I never do. And it's still waiting to be unloaded, which I'll do in a little while, because it's not actually that heavy. It's very bendy, but it's not that heavy. So I'll be doing that and get it up and over to the work area. So this, I think it's not contour board, it's I've forgotten, plexi board, and this really is 1/8. And I bought 4 sheets of that for, I think that this was like 440 pesos. Now, for the life of me, I couldn't face going down and picking up that material in the heat today, so I elected to go in the Raptor. We don't pick up dirty material in the Raptor, and we don't overload it. But you can see, very difficult to keep the Raptor clean these days. Very dusty, so you can go down there with a lovely clean Raptor and look at that, in no time it's full of dust. Now I could go in the blue, but the blue doesn't have tinted windows and it doesn't have AC. Now today we had to wait to meet Marjorie, and we had to give Marjorie some money. So I envisaged and was correct that there would be waiting time, so for about 45 minutes I sat and waited for Marjorie to come from one of the other islands, and it took her, well, I think I was probably half an hour, 45 minutes just sitting in the truck in the heat, but because of the luxury of AC it wasn't so bad. We're outside Nanai's house now, and of course the TV is in there probably talking to itself. That's mandatory for every Filipino house. Every Filipino house. So I got stuff which I needed. I got some more. Now here's an interesting thing. If you've been following my my quarantine madness project, what I was told was insulation. You have one-sided insulation, and then you've got this, which is slightly more expensive, which they didn't tell me about, which is both sides. Can't actually see the benefit of it being both sides because it reflects on the silver side, but it's not actually that much more expensive, so what the heck. I bought this. I don't think it's enough. I think maybe 5 or 6 meters, and it's going to be more than that to do what I have to do. Found a bird's nest. Found a bird's nest in the house. What I've done is I've come in and, let me see, I can put the light on. This is our electric, such as it is. So what I've done is I've cut away, and in there I put this. This was the old, the first batch of insulation that I got, and I used that up. There's the last little bit, which was not wide enough to go into this, so I didn't put it in there. Yes, Turtle, yes! Turtle refuses to go and join us in the guest house. Now this is the only drag about trying to do it this way, is that every so often, and I don't remember which, it's a long time ago, every so often there might be a cross piece like this, cross brace, which means we'll have to go in and cut underneath. But so far I've been lucky, that's been the only one. Now in this area, sitting on top of this, there was a ton of grass. How the bird got it down there, I was concerned that it might be a rat, but it wasn't. There was no droppings. But neither was there a nest. But that was the little surprise that awaited us. Now that I didn't manage to find any 1/8 or 1/4 plywood, so when I saw this board, Conti board, or whatever board that's called, that's on the back of the Raptor, I thought I haven't worked with that before, and I know that it's very brittle, so it's likely to snap and break, whereas that won't happen with the plywood. You can see look here, there's what I'd been putting up. Well, there's so much flex. There's so much flex to that, look. But you wouldn't be able to do that with that board that's on the Raptor at the moment, waiting on loading. So the other thing that was good though was I went into Alturas, and in Alturas I found this acrylic gap sealant, and that's what I need for some of the places that really stick out very dark. See, even in this very dim light you can see that that's a black line. Well, that caulking that I've just bought will cover that, as will it will on the top there, and on the edge going down. So prior to doing a top painting, okay, come on. This cat is relentless. Come on. She'll help herself. He'll help himself, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I stopped what I was doing today in order to go down and get the materials, and I stopped at the first place, Edgar's, and he had the board there, and actually they told me that it was Conti board. I think they said it was, which was for 380. So I paid. I said I'll have 4 pieces of that, and then they found out that as they were loading that it was plexi board or something else different, which is another 50 pesos, so 60 pesos more per board. By that time, of course, I didn't really care. I wasn't going to have a wasted trip, so I just went ahead and bought that. One thing we did find a cure for, and that was the pigeon. And the pigeon has been coming and settling a huge amount of time settling here, and you can see it's beginning to get very nasty there. So I don't want to harm the bird. A lot of people said, oh well, you know, you can get an air gun and get rid of that. So I devised that little thing there and put a couple of strands of string, of thread along there. Not just thread, of course, something a little bit stronger than that. But it makes it difficult for the bird to land, and it learned very quickly. It tried to land there, didn't hurt itself, and flew off, and it hasn't been back since, and I don't think it will be back. So I did that one there, and I also, whether you can see it or not, I did this one here too, just in case he or she decided to try and transfer to this. And it's a very simple thing to do, just cut a couple of nails on each side, and you can do that quite easily. So I don't mind if it does try to transfer to one of the other window frames. I'll come back and do the same again. So tomorrow I will be back on and paneling. So I have enough, certainly enough now, to be able to cut in this wall and this wall and this wall, and it will drop down underneath there. Look, that will drop down unimpeded, as will this here, and then I'll be able to panel straight over this, which is what I've done there. Look, okay, and then I'm down to working on this area and finding out exactly what the best way to have some storage under there, so that if I actually want to use that storage, I'm not groveling on my hands and knees. I might make out some boxes on wheels that will pull out, so that at least you're able to stand up and look inside the storage, rather than go on hands and knees under there, which would be a real chore. Okay, well, we'll end as we started. There's little Yaya having her adventures. Okay, so thanks for looking in. This has been my a little part look at my my Quarantine Madness remodeling, as not much work has actually been done that you can show. This kind of stuff is, it's what I call a negative improvement, in that I had a wall before. I've taken a bit of the wall out, put insulation in, and I'll put the wall back up. And had a wall before, I'll still have a wall. Kind of a negative. Oops, I'm still on Zoom. Okay, well, there we go. Thanks for looking in. Bye for now.